Welcome to Coffee Time, the monthly chat show here on the OnePotChefBlog where I answer questions sent in by you. Now, if you've got a question for me for the next edition of Coffee Time, just leave it in the comment section below this video here on YouTube. Now, let's get into the questions. We've got a lot of them this month. Let's see if I can find my thingy. Where is it? Ah, there we go. Got my list of questions up. Okay, first question from the Tom 5000. How did you get into cooking? Well, basically, the same way most people get into cooking, they usually see who's cooking at home. In this case, my mother. She used to do a lot of cooking and did the most amazing food. And as a child, I would watch her and help her in the kitchen and do all that sort of stuff and just sort of went from there, really. The Thunderhawk. Okay. Do you ever completely fail a recipe and have to restart? Or if you do fail, do you just go with it and make it work somehow? Or do you just post it anyway and pretend like it's supposed to, like that's what's supposed to happen? Sometimes my recipes fail because I don't follow any kind of recipe myself, and I usually just post it anyway and tell people what they could do to make it not fail. Okay. Let's see. It does happen occasionally. I think it's sort of a common thing when you're cooking is that occasionally things go wrong and there's not much you can do about it. These things happen. If it's just a minor error and it's okay, like if the food looks all right and it tastes fine, if I've just forgotten to put one particular ingredient in, then whatever. If, however, it's a catastrophic failure, it tastes awful, it looks like crap, absolutely not. I would never post it. I would generally just reshoot it if I could, and it's happened before. There have been several videos where something has gone wrong and those things happen, so that's just democracy. But yeah, generally I wouldn't upload something unless I'm absolutely 100% happy with it. So yeah, just to let you guys know, if you hear any banging and stuff in the background, it's because my partner is out there trying to build a shed in the garden and getting more and more infuriated as he goes. So if you hear any bang, 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 or screaming or swearing, you know what it is. Okay. El Rey Juanqui 2 asks, have you ever tried Spanish food? Spanish fan here in Spain. And another one, what is your favourite Australian dish? Yeah, I've tried Spanish food. Have it now and again. Love a good bit of chorizo and things. Yum, yum, yum. As for favourite Australian dish, how can you go past sort of pumpkin scones? I mean, there's nothing really more Australian than that, except perhaps maybe a Vegemite scroll. I really should make a Vegemite scroll sometime, but I'm just afraid that no one's going to be able to get Vegemite outside of Australia, so if you want to see a Vegemite scroll, let me know. 444 Humist. When am I going to see you on a TV cooking show? I think you're great. Are you from Australia? Yes, from Australia. Probably you're not likely to see me on a TV cooking show. I generally don't watch those sort of TV cooking contests, things like MasterChef and all that sort of stuff. And I don't think I'd actually be eligible to do it because the cooking that I do on YouTube I do for a job. I do it as a career, so I think that probably would make me ineligible to enter them. That being said, if should any particular Australian television network wish to make me an offer to make the One Pot Chef TV show, please feel free to contact me. But I don't see that happening. Like, I think YouTube's going to be the way of it, so that works for me. Let's see. Jack Wilkins. I've noticed in the past few cooking videos you're not been using the Tim Tam mug. Please tell me if you still have it. Yes, I've still got it. I'm not quite sure how it's gone missing. It's just, yeah, I just happen to have used it recently, but I have definitely still got the Tim Tam mug. And for those of you who don't know what that is, I've got this little coffee mug that has Arnott's Tim Tams written on it. I think I got it for Easter sometime many years ago, and I used to use it as my coffee mug, but it got chipped on the side and it wasn't suitable for drinking coffee out of anymore, so I use it for cracking eggs into, so I don't crack, if like I get an awful egg or a bad egg or whatever, I'm not cracking it directly into the food, I crack it into the cup, it's fine, okay, in. It makes that a lot much easier. But yeah, I don't know why it hasn't been appearing recently. I must have just been grabbing whichever mug happens to be there. Mr. Rapier, 1812. What would some basic equipment you would suggest for a kitchen? Oh, goodness. If you're talking about just setting up the first kitchen, I actually have a whole section about that in my first cooking book, the One Pot Chef Kitchen Companion. But basically, it all depends on what kind of cooking you're looking to do. If you're just looking to do basic sort of everyday cooking, then obviously you're going to need things like knives and forks and spoons, plates and cups and all that sort of stuff, and bowls. When it comes to the actual cooking type stuff, you'd want to have a couple of decent sized saucepans, a couple of different sized frying pans, small one, big one. If you like to do stir fry food, I would highly recommend getting a big wok. All of the sort of accompanying things like sort of wooden spoons, whisk and serving spoons, slotted spoons, all that sort of stuff. Just that, and a decent set of knives, a really decent sharp set of knives. Try to avoid getting really sort of cheap, flimsy knives, because they're just not really worth the investment. You end up replacing them all the time because they're virtually impossible to sharpen. So get a nice, decent set of knives. That would be my advice on that. Thunderhawk. Oh, again, okay. How important do you think it is to add salt to recipes? Most recipes add salt, but I have never seen why it's necessary. I recently started just adding salt just because everyone else is. Do I need to? It really depends on the recipe, but the good rule of thumb is when you've made something and you taste it, or at least it's something that's not sweet, like a savoury thing, obviously, but when you taste it before you serve it up and it doesn't quite taste right, 9 times out of 10, if you add a little bit of salt to it, it'll fix it instantly. Seasoning is very important with a lot of these sort of type of dishes. But yeah, so like if it's got a high salt content anyway, like something that's got like chicken stock in it already has a fair amount of salt in it, so adding extra salt to it probably isn't necessary. But it is good to add things like salt and pepper to most sort of sauces and savoury dishes and things like that, and just taste it and see if it's enough. If you want to put a bit more, add some more. Don't go crazy with it, but I think it is important to add a bit of salt to things, and you do need salt in your diet. I know there's a lot of salt in other foods, but it is good to add a little bit in there, especially if it's iodized salt, because it's got the sort of iodine added to it, so you don't get goiters and things like that. And God knows people don't get enough iodine in their diet, so that's a lot of talking about salt. Next question. From Thunderhawk again. Do most of your views come from subscribers or random people? Well, not really sure, to be honest. I would probably guess that it's probably a bit of a 50-50 split. I mean, I always get people who obviously subscribe to me who watch the videos, but then my videos often appear in suggested videos, and they get featured, and people see them on other websites because a lot of people add them onto their food blogs and things like that. So they get seen on Twitter when people retweet my videos. Same thing with Facebook. So I'd say it was a good combination of the two, I would guess, but I'm not entirely sure. So it's hard to tell because like YouTube analytics is not as detailed as I wish it was, because I'd be able to identify where a lot of my viewers are coming from. So yeah. Okay. Next question. Okay, Khalid, maybe? If you had 3 wishes, which are selfish ones, what would they be? Another wish question. Selfish wishes. Okay, well, I can do that. That's fairly easy. I would probably want a lot of money so I could secure my financial future for myself and for my family, which is probably not entirely selfish, but still. I'd probably... Let me think. I probably want to be healthy. I've got a few medical conditions, so it would be nice to sort of have them brushed away. And probably to look like Ryan Gosling for obvious reasons. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Maggie12310. What's your favourite comfort food when you're feeling really crappy? What's the one thing you eat that comforts you? Also, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Comfort food. Probably a packet of Tim Tams. I've been known to occasionally indulge when I'm not feeling particularly happy. It's like double Coke Tim Tams, but I don't know. Probably, that's probably me more extreme, but I don't know why, but cinnamon toast makes me quite happy. Like, just getting some toast, butter, and putting a bit of cinnamon sugar on it, it brightens my day, and I'm not really sure why, but it has that nice, warm, comforting smell to it, so that's probably that one. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I don't really know. I'm assuming probably where I am at the moment, and just hopefully a bit more successful, hopefully having a bit more sort of security financially and whatnot, and I'd like to think that's where I'll be, but who knows? As I say, like 5 years ago, I would never have guessed I would be where I am today, so who knows? Who knows what the future will bring? Another one from Maggie. If you could go back in time, is there any moment in your life you wish you could change, or would you change nothing because the events that happened to you have shaped who you are today? Oh, good question. I think most people have things in their life that they wish they could go back and change. Things that they regret, or things that they're ashamed of, or things that they just wish were done a different way. But I don't think I would, because while I do have a few things in my past that, like anyone else, probably look back and just go, oh, why? Like you say, I think those things have shaped the person I am today, and I quite like the person I am today, so yeah, so I don't think I would change those things, so yeah. Let's see. Emu Unlim. If you were a recipe, what would you be called? A large meaty tart. Oh, that'll spark some rumours. I cannot believe I just said that. Kelsey80. Moving on. Have you any fears in life? I don't know. When you get to my age, there's very little left to fear. The old man speaks. I don't think I have... Well, I'm not keen on spiders and things, but I wouldn't say I have any particular fears as such. I probably... nothing more irrational than anyone else's fears, I should think. Like, yeah, I don't want psychopaths breaking into my house and stabbing me to death, but that, again, that's not exactly an unreasonable fear. No, I don't really fear much these days. I'm brave. Me brave. Is that convincing? Oh, another question from Kelsey. Are you a Sagittarius? No, not a Sagittarius. I'm an Aquarius. Though I wish I could be a Sagittarius. I mean, you know, half man, half horse, licensed to shit in the street. This is so going to get banned by YouTube. Anyway. Licensed to shit in the street. I blame Billy Connolly, he's a bad man. Steph2woo2. I hope I said that right. What is your favourite cookie recipe? It gotta be Mum's chocolate chip cookies. I actually did it on the cooking channel many years ago and love them even to this day. I haven't made them for about a year or so, actually. I really should make them again, because I don't know, they remind me of my childhood. My mum used to make these occasionally, the chocolate chip cookies, and they got that sort of sweet vanilla, brown sugar, caramelly sort of flavour to them, and then they got the chunks of chocolate chips in them, so yum. Yeah, so, I really should... Stop reminding me of food, people, God. Not fat enough. Bell and Bean. Congrats on 1 year of coffee time. Here's to many more. Question, would you ever try out for one of those TV cooking shows? Oh, I've been there already. No, I probably wouldn't. No, as I say, I don't think I'd be eligible to be on them, but yeah, I don't actually watch them. Like MasterChef and My Kitchen Sucks, or whatever the hell it's called. I don't watch them. I'm like the only person in Australia who doesn't watch them. But I can't get into that sort of stuff. I find it way too drawn out. It's too silly and dramatic and silly cliffhangers and stuff like that. It's like, for God's sake, it's a cooking show. Like, get real. So, yeah, I just can't get into that. Let's see. Michelle Joe Bart. Oh, okay. Where are we? Can you give us a hint about your next cookbook that you said was coming? Will it have a theme like desserts? I am excited to get my third One Pot Chef cookbook. Yes, it will. Actually, you probably already know about this because I put it into a video the other day. But yes, the new cookbook's coming out very soon. It's called One Pot Chef Dinner Winner. And the theme is easy dinner meals and main meals and things like that. I'm just waiting for it to get approved on the iTunes bookstore, and then I'll do a proper announcement video on the cooking channel saying it's available. It is sort of technically available through Lulu already, but once it's actually available on the iTunes store, I'll definitely do a full announcement and say, yay, come buy my book. It helps put bread on the table. That's my new sales pitch. Please buy my book. I'm starving. Just look at me. I'm wasting away. Oh, dearie me, an actor's life for me. Sartha Camijo, I hope I said that right. My question is, have you ever gone to India? If yes, can you share your food experiences? And if no, do you want to? No, well, yes and no. I have been to India, but I never went any further than the actual airport because we did a stopover in India. So I think it was the plane was getting refueled and we had to get out to the terminal for like an hour while they refueled the plane, but we never actually left the airport. So I think the only experience with Indian cuisine in India I had was a cup of coffee or something, or a bottle of Coke or something. I can't remember. It was a very long time ago. So I may maybe go to India. I'm not really sure. I've never really thought about it. It's an interesting country, a lot of history and culture there, so it would be very interesting to go there. I must admit I'm not a huge fan of Indian cuisine, probably because I'm a bit of a wuss and I sort of don't like really exotically spicy food, but it would be nice to go and try proper Indian cuisine as opposed to the stuff that they sell in Indian restaurants here, which I question if it's even remotely like actual Indian food, so it would be interesting. Next question. Oh, same person. What is your hobby except cooking? I don't have any time to do anything except cook these days. It seems to be all I do is film and cook and do washing up and type things on the computer. I do a fair amount of reading. I love sort of true crime books, things about like sort of mass murderers and serial killers and stuff. I don't know why exactly. A lot of people find that sort of very odd, but I find it fascinating the way the FBI and police and stuff will get inside the mind of these people and find out who they are and why they've done these crimes. It's very fascinating to read, but yeah. And also like something sort of like autobiographies and things like that, and anything that's a bit funny. So yeah, and yeah, generally I don't have a lot of free time these days, so hobby-wise I don't really have much, but yeah, sort of that's pretty much it. Hardcore Glamour 01. I have an interview for a chef apprenticeship on Thursday. Oh, probably missed it by now, but can you give me any advice as to how to answer questions? I'm really excited about it and would love your advice. Well, you've probably already had your interview by now, and I hope it's gone very well, but best advice I can give you is to get a good night's sleep the night before and be nice and relaxed and refreshed the next morning. Get up, have a nice breakfast, and just try to remain calm and be yourself, and just don't try to overthink it. Just let them ask you questions and be honest with your answers. Don't try to be too elaborate. Don't try to be too... don't try to impress them, because like a lot of people who do interviews will see through that and just go, oh God, he's just telling us what we want to hear. So as I say, the best thing you can do is be yourself, be smiley, be happy, and good luck. I hope that helps, and I hope you did well with your interview. So, yeah. For Amel, happy first anniversary for Coffee Time. Thank you very much. What do you like to have on your pizza? I must admit I don't get pizza very often these days. I did before, but tried to cut back because I'm sort of tum-tum. But I used to love the chicken pizzas. Love nice sort of decent, with proper chicken on it, not like weird sort of processed rubbish all over it, like actual proper roasted chicken on it. supreme with a bit of everything on it. Like, yeah, I'm pretty easy. I love all of that sort of stuff. So, yeah. Let's see. Fred's the dog. Have you ever considered opening your own restaurant? If so, what would be some of your best dishes? Never. Never, 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 never would I open a restaurant. I love showing people how to cook. I love doing it on the internet. I would not want to do it for like 12, 13 hours a day in a restaurant environment. I've done that. I've worked there. I hate it. It's too high pressure, too much work, too much stress. It's just... I like being able to do things my own time and do things my way, and I couldn't imagine working in a restaurant again. It's just way too much for me. I wouldn't like it. And it's too difficult to try and set up a business like that from scratch without any kind of background or reputation. It would be... you'd have to really be sort of sensational and amazing to get by, because otherwise, sort of like one bad review in your history, basically. At least on YouTube, sort of, I have a little bit more control over that. Ooh, water. And I'm not drinking coffee today, I know, but I'm being a good boy. Next question from Super Wizard of Roz. Okay. I've been watching your videos since January, love them. Curious on what happens to all the food you make. Do you eventually finish it, or does Topaz come to the rescue? Also, can you make something with Vegemite in it? Oh, you're predictive. Also, can you showcase some Aussie chocolates that we don't find in the States? Okay, let's start with the first one. Basically, the food that I make on the One Pot Chef show, like the savoury stuff like dinner meals and snacks and stuff, is generally what we'll eat for dinner in our household. And if it's a huge amount of stuff, whatever doesn't get eaten usually gets frozen for another night. Dessert stuff, I very rarely get to have any. I usually have a little bit when I'm having the video, like when I'm recording that bit and go, yummy, tasty, la. Yummy, tasty, la. But yeah, there's two people who live with me who are more than happy to help with the getting of the desserts and things. So yeah, generally I don't tend to get a lot of that. I've got a few friends who have sniffed out when I do my recordings and things like that, so they just happen to drop by unexpectedly for a taste test. So yeah, as for Topaz is a fussy little cow. Unless I'm making something with barbecue chicken, she sits there looking at me sad going, "Where's my chicken?" In fact, there are times where I'm actually recording cooking videos and she's actually sitting on the floor right next to the tripod looking up at me, looking sad and pathetic, wanting food. And I'm there going, "You've got food down, go away." Yeah, about the Vegemite and something. It's funny how you mentioned that, because I only mentioned that earlier in the video. Might possibly do that. As I say, it just depends on how commonly available or how easy it is to procure outside of Australia, because I do have a large audience from outside of Australia, so it's not necessarily something exclusive to Australia. So hopefully if it's easily enough to obtain outside of Australia, I could probably do something. As for Aussie chocolates in a chocolate video, yes, I have actually considered doing that. I've got a lot of people suggesting that when I asked for suggestions about what to do with the blog channel about a week ago, and that was one of the things I was doing in other countries, and I did actually consider doing some Australian ones, but it's just a matter of finding ones that are not necessarily commonly found outside of Australia, because like, it's hard to tell what... like, the things that I've grown up with I think of as Australian chocolate bars, but have recently found out that they're not necessarily from Australia. Like, some of them are American, some of them are British, and yeah, so it's kind of busted my little bubble. So I'll see what I can do. Tom Linid, oh, I've given up on usernames. Sweetie has asked, do you have Coronation Street in Australia? Yes. Yes, my mother-in-law watches it religiously and I never hear the end of it. I can't say I'm really into those sort of soaps, like even the Australian ones. I can't get into them. I find them very silly, but I suppose there's a lot of people out there who enjoy them, and good for them. I just personally don't get into them, so yeah. Dave 80W. You have mentioned before, but what's your partner's name and what does he do? I'll probably just say this. I've been in a relationship with my partner for a while, and I generally don't talk specifics about him on YouTube for one simple reason, is that he doesn't generally get involved with YouTube. He doesn't get on camera and stuff. He doesn't like it. But mainly because he doesn't want to be identified in a public video type thing, because while my partner is out of the closet, he doesn't necessarily broadcast that he's gay at work, and it would be a bad thing if it was to come out that he was gay in his work environment. So I generally don't talk about him. I don't generally give his name away or anything like that. So yeah, it's just that's how it basically goes, and it sounds sort of a bit sort of backwards, but the fact is that's reality. There are still some industries where it's not a good career move to be coming out of the closet. So yeah, so he just sort of keeps things to himself, and I think that's fair, because I'm very much the same. I don't go around broadcasting to everybody that I'm gay everywhere I go, because I don't see it's necessary. So it's nobody's business that my own, but yeah, some people seem to think sort of like you've got to go around broadcasting it 24 hours a day. Hi, I'm a homosexual. Isn't it fantastic? Hooray! I just don't get that. Very strange. But yeah, so I keep my partner's details under wraps, so to speak. He's just sort of... occasionally you'll hear his voice in the background of a video, or might catch a fleeting glimpse of him as he's passing in the background, but that's about it. So he doesn't get involved, and that's fair enough. So this is my thing and that's his thing, so yeah. Next question. Jason0147. Do you like Latin music, like salsa, tropical, merengue? I suppose I do. I must admit, if you asked me to dance to any of them, I'd probably shock the hell out of you. You've probably seen people on fire move better than me, but especially these days. But yeah, I don't mind a bit of Latin music. I do like it. Marty God. Have you ever had any Mexican candy, the hot but sweet kind? Not that I know of. I don't think so. There used to be, I don't know if they're Mexican or not, but there used to be when I was growing up, there were these little hard candies called warheads. And some of them were like intensely sour, and some of them were like hot with chili in them. And I don't know, I think it comes down to my whole sort of, I don't like food that hurts you. And yeah, so I don't think I've ever tried them. No, but they were big when I was a kid. I don't know if they still make them or not. I must admit I've never really sort of looked, but yeah, I don't know if they're Mexican or not. I'm not sure if I tried them. I like Cookie 88. I like Cookie too. What's your favourite food to munch on when you're watching TV? I must admit I don't generally do a lot of sort of snacking while watching TV, although I do occasionally will get a block of chocolate or something, and I'll have a few bits of chocolate while I'm watching a movie or something. But yeah, I'm not a big snacker. I must admit, a lot of people find it hard to believe, but I don't really do a lot of snacking. I'll tend to have a big meal 2 or 3 times a day, and I might occasionally have a small thing in the afternoon with coffee or something, but that's about it. I don't generally have things like chips and lollies and snacks and biscuits and things like that. I don't generally eat them. Sort of never really been into that much. Sort of, I will occasionally indulge now and again if I feel like, ooh, got to have chocolate now. That's just general chocoholic behaviour, I think, though. Pinoak 12345 asks, do you play any instruments, or have you ever played any in the past? Oh, God, no. I am the most unmusical person in the universe. I am the only person to have ever got an F for the triangle in music class. I am actually physically and totally the worst musician in history. I have no musical ability whatsoever. Don't ask me to sing. It's vile. Sort of... Honestly, I swear to God there should be a One Pot Chef karaoke thing for people who are looking to be suicidal, because I guarantee you I'll do a One Pot Chef karaoke video. It'll kill everyone in sight. I am not that talented. Yeah, I think my talents have gone to other areas, but definitely... I wish I was musical. I really do. Things like piano and violin particularly are just beautiful, and I would massacre them. I just have no musical ability, and it's probably one of the biggest regrets in my life that I don't have any kind of musical ability like that, because I am a very musical person and I love to listen to music. I love to sing along to songs when I'm sort of doing things on the computer or iPod or whatever like that, but I'm utterly tone deaf. I mean, I'm not medically tone deaf, but like, I'm just dreadful. I sound like a goose farting in the fog when I sing, but nonetheless, it's fun. Lucy Lou TV. Are you a PC gamer, a modern gamer? Do you own any of the current next-gen consoles such as PS3 or Xbox 360? Or are you a classic gamer? Do you own or have ever owned any retro consoles such as an NEC, SNES, N64, Mega Drive, etc.? If yes to any of the above, what are some of your favourite games? Not a gamer anymore. I mean, I don't even have a PC anymore. I've got a Mac these days, and God knows Macs don't run anything these days when it comes to games. My partner has a PS3, but I must admit I've never really played it. I've used it occasionally as a Blu-ray player before we actually got a dedicated Blu-ray player in the living room. But yeah, I'm not much of a gamer these days. I did have, about maybe 3 years ago, I did have one of those Nintendo DS's. I used to do brain training on it, but yeah, I never got around to replacing it because I broke it and never got around to replacing it. And before that, I did have a Nintendo 64 and an original PlayStation PS1, but that was when I was probably about 18, 19 maybe, or younger. Yeah, but I've never really got into games when I was an adult. When I got the Nintendo 64, I had things like Mario Kart 64 and Mario, and GoldenEye was great. I loved GoldenEye. Yeah, but beyond that, yeah, I can't really remember what I had on the PlayStation. I don't really recall. I don't know, but yeah, as I say, not much of a gamer these days, so I haven't really thought of it. I don't know, I think I just outgrew it. Like, some people sort of continue to play games and are good on them, but I never really continued with it beyond sort of, I think maybe the age of 20 or so. I think it just sort of, I've had other things to do and got distracted and started running a nightclub and had less and less time in my life to do games, and I probably should get back into gaming. I really should, but maybe. Love the Wildlife asks, how old are you and do you have any friends on YouTube? How old am I? Well, I'll tell you the same thing that my grandmother used to tell me. I'm as old as my nose and a little bit older than my teeth. I'm old enough, no more the questions. I can still pass for 17. I promise. Maybe. Do I have any friends on YouTube? I have lots of friends on YouTube. Yeah, I'm very friendly with a lot of the other cooking channels here in Australia, like Nico from Nico's Kitchen, Anna from Cooking with Karma, Carl from Aussie Griller, lots of other people. I mean, there's probably too many to name, but yeah, I've made a lot of friends through YouTube, and that's one of the things I love about this website is that I've met people that I would otherwise have never have met if it wasn't for YouTube. So, and I'm very grateful for that. Ninja Dude, my tongue is too big for my mouth. Ninja Dude 1021 asks, can you say hi mom for us? Oh, okay. Hi mom, can I have a glass of water? Oh no, we're doing the American accents again. I'm gonna get burnt alive. I don't speak with an accent, with my glass of water. I didn't drink my water. Unless you watch the last video, that will make absolutely no sense to you. But anyway. Oh, God. Oh, dearie me. Miss Loud Laugh. I've got a question. Do you get many comments on your laugh? It seems loud and I personally love it. It cheers me right up. As you may be able to tell from my username, I too have a loud laugh and people comment on it all the time. I don't know if I do have a loud laugh. I suppose I do if people say so. I can't say I've got a lot of comments about my laugh, but people say it's infectious. That's probably a good sign. So I suppose it's the only thing you'd want to have is infectious as a laugh, so I can live with that. NV Origami, do you have reading glasses? I did have reading glasses, but it's like one of those sort of Murphy's Law type things. They looked fantastic in the store, and you're sitting there going, wow, I look absolutely gorgeous. And I got them home, and I looked like Revenge of the Nerds. It was the worst pair of glasses, and I think I've shown them in a video way back when, but to be honest, I'm not entirely sure why I needed them, because they said I had a minor stigmatism and I needed to correct it so I could read better, but I must admit I never really noticed having problems with reading. I didn't have any headaches or anything like that, so I started wearing them less and less and never really sort of missed them that much, so yeah. So don't have any reading glasses anymore. Wendy2584. Have you read or are you reading 50 Shades of Grey? I can honestly say I've never read anything quite like it. I love you, One Pot Chef. Big hugs. Love you too. Big hugs to you too. I have not read 50 Shades of Grey, and I may be revealing a few trade secrets here, but a certain YouTube cook I happen to know, whose name rhymes with Wicco, has been reading it and was reading out certain passages to me over Skype. The degenerate filth that he came out with, I was shocked at, and I was almost tempted to go out and buy the book, but I don't think the kind of sort of bondage and domination sort of themes of the book are really my idea of relaxed everyday reading, so I must admit I can't say I really did go out of the way to go and buy the book, but it was interesting, the bits that were read to me, let's put it that way. And in many places familiar, but that's another story. Next question, Pearly Pop. David, do you have any siblings? If so, what do you love most about them? What do they think of your YouTube career? I've got two sisters, both older than me. I love most about them. I don't know. I guess that they're sort of... Gee, how do I put this without sounding like a soppy little brother? I guess that I've just sort of... that they're there. Like, they're such wonderful people, and they really have sort of been a great influence on my life, because they are genuine, decent people, as opposed to, you see often other people who've got sort of those horrible siblings that have become these just decadent, degenerate scumbags. And it's good to know that I've got sort of family members who aren't like that, and it's great that my two sisters are just these wonderful people who live their lives to a decent set of moral standards, and it's helped to shape the kind of life that I hold, so that's good. So, yeah. And what do they think of the YouTube career? I don't think they fully understood what it was at first, but I actually had them sending me recipes and things that they've seen on websites and blogs and stuff as inspiration, so they love it, and I imagine they'll be watching this video at this very point, so yeah. Hi, sisters. From Pearly Pop as well. Sorry that your mum passed away. She must have been an incredible person to have raised such an awesome person like you. Oh, I was wondering, how did she pass away and how did you cope with her loss? Mum had been very ill for many years. She had several terminal illnesses, and she passed away. I don't get into specific details about that. But how did I cope with her loss? I guess I just did. I don't think... Like, I knew that Mum was going to be dying for many years. We knew that she was dying. So a lot of people often said sort of like, oh, that must have really helped her prepare. And in many ways it did. But then again, you can't really prepare for the death of a parent. It's just one of those things that everyone will eventually go through. Like, you'll lose one and eventually both of your parents. And it's just one of those things you have to go through. I coped because I had to sort of hold it together and be strong for my father, who had not just lost his wife, but his best friend of 50 years. So I needed to be there for him. I needed to help with all the planning and preparation and things for the funeral and everything that happens afterwards. So I basically just threw myself into it. I kind of went off YouTube for a couple of months afterwards. I didn't want to get into that because I had a lot of other things on my plate, obviously. But yeah, it's just one of those things you eventually do have to go through, and you cope with it best you can. Have you ever walked out of your home, and have you been noticed by any of your viewers before? If so, How did it feel to actually see someone in real life that watches your videos? It happens occasionally. It's usually... I don't know why, but it's usually when I'm in the fruit and veg section at the supermarket, when I'm there sort of picking out an onion or something, and they go, "You're the one pot chef," and I go, "Yeah," and they go, "Oh, that's so lovely," and they go, it's strange. I still find it very unusual when I have a complete stranger come up to me and recognise me from something that I've been doing on the internet, and I still try to get used to that. It's very strange, but it happens occasionally, and it is good. And like the other time, obviously, is when I go to a YouTube gathering and I suddenly get people coming up to me going, "Oh my god, it's the One Pot Chef! I love you!" And I'm there going, I still don't know how to respond to that. I need to learn how to sort of to deal with that, because I find it very strange. Like I still have that sort of thing going, this person knows me and I don't. Why? And it like you don't click into it. It's very strange, but yeah, I say it's an interesting thing that it doesn't happen very often, unfortunately, because I think most of my viewers are overseas, but I do occasionally bump into somebody who knows me from YouTube and they go, yeah. Oh, Pearly Pop again. Ask a lot of questions, don't I? Yes, you do. But that's all right. That's what we're here for. Have you ever eaten Korean food before? If so, what do you think of it? I don't think I have, actually. There's no Korean restaurants that I know of around here, so, at least not locally, so I don't think I have tried any Korean food. Though I have heard it's very nice. I really should sort of see if I can find a Korean place nearby and have a play and see what's there. As long as it's not that live octopus thing that sticks to the inside of your mouth that I saw on that TV show, because that just freaks me the hell out. Like, I like fresh food, but I don't want fresh food with a pulse. That just scares the hell out of me. Ugh. Oh, Pearly Pop again. How many questions did you ask, dear? Good grief. Okay, what is your favourite ice cream? Cookie Schmush. And that's what I call it. I don't know what it's actually called. It's like a cookies and cream thing that's comes in a little tub about that size, and it's ridiculously rich and creamy. It has little chocolate chunks all through it, or little chocolate cookie chunks all through it. But yeah, I call it Cookie Schmush because it's cookies all smushed into the ice cream. So I assume it's just cookies and cream, but like it has a funny sort of elaborate name to it, but I just call it Cookie Schmush. If you had to change 3 things in the world, what would it be? And yes, you have to give 3, David. 3 things I would change about this world. This question. I don't know. Probably hatred and intolerance. Like, the way people sort of just have this blind hatred for people who are of a certain colour or a certain gender or whatever. Just so people would just, be happy and sort of go, okay, well, you worship this god, good for you. You are this colour, good for you. Like, you don't have to sort of go and go, oh my god, you worship such a god, I must destroy you in the name of my god. It's all sort of, my imaginary friend's better than your imaginary friend, and I just find that a very strange thing to murder each other about. That was oddly philosophical. What was the question again? 3 things in the world I would change and why. Okay, oh god. So yeah, hatred and intolerance. I don't know, roundabouts, or at least people who don't know how to use a bloody roundabout, they should be dragged into the street and killed. Yes, I know that contradicts the first thing I said about intolerance, but I think everyone agrees that people who don't know how a roundabout works should be put to death. And the other thing I would change in this world is, I don't know, I would make chocolate make you thin. That would be nice. I know there are chocolate-flavoured laxatives, and that probably has that sort of effect, but you know what I mean. How did I get chocolate-flavoured laxatives and religious war into the same question? That's interesting. And, oh, Pearly Pop again, okay. Have you heard the super viral song, Call Me Maybe? What do you think of it? I've heard of it, but I haven't actually, actually heard it. Let's see if I can find it. Call Me Maybe. I won't play the whole thing, but I will play a little bit. I obviously can't play the song in the video, copyright reasons, so I've just cut that bit out, but I've just had a quick listen to it. Interesting clip, certainly a very muscular young man in it. Can't say I'm terribly fussed on the song, so I don't know. Must be missing something about why that's so insanely popular. I don't know. Groshoni1. What is your favourite thing to have on a sandwich? Bonus points for favourite type of bread. Probably a nice sort of garlic focaccia bread, because it's great for toasted sandwiches. Roasted chicken or roasted turkey breast with avocado, a little bit of onion, lettuce, tomato, Swiss cheese, and a little bit of honey mustard sauce. Yum. That is my ultimate sandwich. Punga, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Do you use the same camera for the One Pot Chef show and Coffee Time? Because I noticed there's a picture quality difference between the two. No, I don't. I have a proper camera that I use for the cooking videos, but I'm just using the webcam to record this, as it's much easier to set up and just talk to the screen and do the questions. I have the questions on the screen, so I'm reading the questions now as I talk. So, yeah, so there's a difference in the picture quality because these videos are so long, like these coffee time ones often go for an hour, that they take forever to upload, so I have to compress them down and reduce the quality, and that's the trade-off. It makes it quicker and easier to upload, but I lose a bit of quality. But then again, most people just sort of listen to this in the background. They don't necessarily watch it directly, so it doesn't really matter too bad if it's not perfect looking. But yeah, it's not like I'm doing any sort of major HD effects or anything in this video, so I think it's okay. Jilem de Jesus. How do you manage with all the responses you get to your videos and posts? Do you view them as they come in, or do you set aside time for that, specifically Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter? Seems like it would drive you mad. You're right, I do get a lot of responses for videos and things like that, and Twitter and Facebook and Google Plus and emails and everything else that comes in. Generally, I start the day, like I'll wake up in the morning, I'll go and make a cup of coffee, I'll turn the computer on, and I'll start going through the comments that have come in overnight while I was asleep. So I'll be there drinking my coffee, checking sort of comments and stuff and responding to questions and things like that. I'll then jump onto Twitter, see if there's any sort of things that I need to respond to on there. Go onto Facebook, same thing, check to see if there's anything there, and Google Plus, go through the emails that have come in, all that sort of stuff. It usually takes me an hour or so first thing in the morning to go through all that sort of stuff, and then just during the day when I happen to jump on the computer, I'll sort of check emails and stuff. Like while I've been sitting here doing this, I got about maybe 20 comments on the cooking videos while I've just been sitting here recording this video. So yeah, I'll just go through them afterwards and go from there. But yeah, it's I really should hire like a full-time assistant to help me with all this stuff, but then again, I don't want to have to pay someone to actually come in and do my bloody email and everything, because it just seems like I'm being lazy. But a lot of people just don't realise how much of it comes in every day. I get something in the realm of probably about 10,000 comments every week, just between cooking videos, blog videos, Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus, emails. It's a lot of stuff to go through, and I have to do a bit of it every day, but I try to get through as much of it as I can. So if I'm a little late, that's why. Plazor. 1, what's your favourite colour? And 2, do you go for looks or personality? Please answer. I will certainly answer. First one, I don't think I've got a favourite colour. I don't generally... A lot of people find that strange. Like, people will go, oh, my favourite colour is blue, or my favourite colour is chartreuse. I don't know what this voice is. I wish they taught shopping at school. No, I don't really have a favourite colour, so I suppose it used to be blue, but like I'm not really worried. Like, I guess I've just got colours I don't particularly like, but I don't really sort of have a thing where everything that I own has to be a certain colour. So, do you go for looks or personality? Well, I suppose it's a bit of both, really. I mean, like, I could lie and turn around and say looks are completely irrelevant to me, but who doesn't appreciate somebody who looks good? But then again, you've got to have a decent personality. You've got to have somebody who laughs, who can make you laugh, someone who's actually capable of rubbing a couple of brain cells together and come up with something interesting to talk about. Because, I mean, you can be the most handsome, gorgeous, muscular, fantastically gorgeous man in the history of the universe, but if you can't actually string something to talk about or can't sort of make a conversation, what's the point? Although, admittedly, now and again, it's not bad to have somebody who is utterly gorgeous who doesn't need to speak. They can just sit there and look gorgeous. I can live with that occasionally. I'm not sort of prejudiced against the exceedingly gorgeous. What the hell am I talking about? We must be getting towards the end. I'm starting to go mental. Fred's the dog again. Since you upload a couple of videos per week on the cooking channel, do you make more than one video at a time, or is generally no more than one video per day? Well, I'm uploading 3 cooking videos a week, but I generally record anywhere between 3 and 5 videos a week. And I'm always ahead of schedule. I actually record my videos quite a fair amount in advance. So if I want to take some time off, because obviously I've got a bad spine, so if I need to take a couple of weeks off and just relax and not do anything, it doesn't interrupt the upload schedule. I can have time off and not worry about sort of suddenly running out of videos. So, yeah, so it's not a major issue there. So I generally will record 4 days a week. So sometimes 4 videos, sometimes 5. If I do something that's relatively simple, like I did a hummus video recently, and that took probably about 15 minutes to record all up. So I actually recorded 2 videos that day. I did that, and I did something slightly more complicated later on in the day. But yeah, so that's how it works, basically. What is the prep work involved in creating a video? Do you have a script? Do you choose what dish to make? Or how do you choose what dish to make? From Big World Famous. Generally, I don't have a script. I try to avoid script writing because, strangely enough, if I've got a script, I can't get anything right. I will basically blather on and can't talk properly. But if I'm just sort of talking freestyle, I'll usually get things done a lot quicker and easier, and it will come across better. As for choosing what dish to make, generally I've got this highly complicated scientific method called potluck. Essentially, I go through all my cookbooks and old magazine clippings and things that I've got, and I just look for inspiration. And I don't necessarily copy a recipe specifically, but what I tend to do is I'll go and have a look and go, oh, this is a thing with chicken in it. Bet that recipe would be nice if I changed this and that and made tuna instead of chicken. And I'll pop on things like that, or I'll go through old cookbooks and look for sort of these old-fashioned things that people don't generally make anymore that might be good if I tarted them up a little bit and changed it and made it a bit more modern. So that's how I get to that sort of thing. As for the prep work involved in making a video, generally I'll do the actual physical prep work, things like chopping vegetables, meat, measuring out things so they're ready to go when I'm filming. Make sure the kitchen's nice and tidy and clean, obviously. Set up the light. Get the tripod set up and set up the camera for the intro and stuff, record the intro, then do the cooking video, and pack everything up, do the cleaning up, do the editing. So that's basically how it works. It sounds a lot more complicated than it is, but I've been doing it for 5 years, so I've sort of got into a pattern now. So it's like bang, 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 set up, done, 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 turn it on, hey, I'm on the One Pot Chef. Last question, the Hillsman 25. Have you ever thought of releasing a DVD, such as filming all the recipes from your Just Dessert book and putting them on a DVD and releasing it? I did briefly consider the idea of doing a video DVD or like a video cooking DVD, but I scratched it for 2 reasons. One was that it would just be a nightmare trying to produce them myself. I'd have to actually find a company to produce the DVDs for me, and I can't imagine I'd be able to do it for a reasonable price for the quantities that I do, because even the books are a little bit expensive because I'm having to self-publish them. But then again, I don't know how much it would cost to do a DVD, and I couldn't imagine it would be cheap. But then again, I don't think people need a DVD because they could just go onto YouTube and watch the recipes there. So I don't know. I'm not sure if there'd be a demand for it. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's something that I need to investigate. I don't think it was something I would do. So I do the videos on YouTube and I do the books, and they complement each other. So I'm not sure a DVD would necessarily fit in, but I could be wrong. If I get suddenly an avalanche of people going, yes, we want a DVD, I could possibly consider it and see how I might go about doing it. Well, kiddies, that's the end of coffee time, and I managed to do it under an hour. Yes! All right, that was a little bit too herpaderp for my taste, so I'm going to head off. Thank you very much for watching this inane load of old nonsense. If you've got a question for next month's coffee time, leave it in the comment section below. I am going to run screaming from the building with my hair on fire. Lots of love to you all. Kisses. Mwah. Bye.